Hello everyone, Red Crimson 102 here. Yes, as you can see by the headline, Breath of the Wild, a remaster seemingly leaked for Nintendo Switch 2. Last year, select members of the gaming media were apparently given a look at the successor to Nintendo Switch at a closed-door event during Gamescom 2023. During that event, journalists were reportedly shown an enhanced version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild running on the system with a higher frame rate and resolution compared to the version that launched alongside Switch back in 2017. At the time those reports surfaced, we weren't sure if this would be an actual release or merely a tech demo meant to show the system's abilities. However, a new leak suggests that it's the former rather than the latter. According to the leaker known as Midori, there is a project at Nintendo with the code name U King O. That's U-King-O. Following that post on Twitter, user Skipper93653 pointed out that the original internal code name used for Breath of the Wild was U-King. Both Midori and Skipper noted that Nintendo often adds a suffix to ports and remasters when they make the jump to another system, using Captain Toad Treasure Tracker as one example. The game apparently had the codename Kinopio on Wii U, and then Kinopio S on Switch, as well as Kinopio C on 3DS. If all of this information is correct, games that are ported to Nintendo Switch successor will use the suffix -o. As with any rumor, readers are encouraged to take this with a grain of salt. However, it should be noted that Midori has an excellent record when it comes to leaks and rumors. Recently, they accurately revealed the existence of Sonic Rumble several months before it was officially released by Sega. Coupled with those reports from Gamescom last year, it really does seem like we're going to get an enhanced port of Breath of the Wild on the tentatively, excuse me guys, my English is messed up right about now, named Nintendo Switch 2. Since we don't know for sure if the new system will be backwards compatible, it remains to be seen whether this will be offered as a paid upgrade or as a standalone game. If it's an upgrade that can be purchased or obtained for free by current owners of the game, it will be interesting to see if other Switch games get a similar treatment. There are a lot of Switch games that could benefit from an upgrade, and it makes sense to start with Breath of the Wild given how popular the game is. Nintendo could also use it as a way to convince current Switch owners to upgrade to the new system. What is this article trying to say? Well, we all know that last year at Gamescom, Nintendo showed a select few developers behind closed doors Breath of the Wild, as well as several other titles running on the alleged Switch 2 hardware, and walked away impressed. Breath of the Wild was seen running on a Nintendo Switch in 4K at very high resolution and frame rate. I believe it was 60 FPS. And we all thought it was a tech demo. But if Nintendo had that game running on the Switch 2, my brain automatically told me that Nintendo is either going to re-release Breath of the Wild or they're going to have an update, a firmware update for the Nintendo Switch 2 when that's released, and whoever has a game, whether physically or digitally, the game will be upscaled with better graphics and higher frame rate, and that's all good. But here's a negative part about that. Well, the Breath of the Wild enhanced version for the Switch 2, if Nintendo releases that physically, which I don't mind if they did that, that's probably going to be a test bed moving forward. Nintendo saying to themselves, hey, you know what? Instead of giving us an update like Microsoft would do, as far as what I like about what Microsoft does is whenever if you have any old games, especially physically, and you put it inside the Xbox, it automatically enhances the game to a higher, whether a higher resolution or a higher frame rate, and sometimes both. So this could be good and bad news for Nintendo 2 Switch fans, because instead of giving us free updates for the games we already have, Nintendo would re-release those games physically and digitally and charging you $60-$70 all over again. So you'll be rebuying all your old games that you already own. Now, to me, that's kind of a bad thing. I can understand certain games Nintendo does that with, like, you know, their own franchises like Zelda, of course, and, you know, their first party games, but I don't think they should do it for all games. And I don't want developers to follow suit and start re-releasing physical games for Nintendo Switch 2 enhanced versions, whereas they can just give us a simple update. I would say they can do this. Nintendo as well, and third party developers, they can do it with a few select games, but I just rather, hands down, that Nintendo as well as developers just allow all Switch games that you currently have in your library to be automatically enhanced with better frame rates and better graphics. So I hope they stop at Zelda. I would love to see. I mean, Zelda's a huge game, so me personally, I would go out and buy a Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom enhanced versions running in 4K and definitely higher frame rates and better graphics physically. I do not mind doing that. I'm down for a re-release of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom with better graphics and frame rate. But I hope it just stops there, and all the other titles is just an automatic update once you put the game into the Switch 2, or, you know, if you had a game already on digitally, just automatically upscale to a better version of the game. But not to get off topic here, as far as Breath of the Wild goes, this is great news for me and great news for Zelda fans out there. I would love to have a re-released enhanced version of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom physically. And if you're going to do that, Nintendo, make sure you put it in a nice, pretty box with in-game box art. And most importantly, Nintendo, can you at least bring the manuals back, have manuals for your games? I would love to have an enhanced version of both Zelda games with manuals included. Now, the kicker is, I wonder how much this is going to cost. But that's about it, guys. If you have any comments on this, just let me know in the comment section. And should Nintendo just give us a free update to make the games better, or should they re-release all their old Nintendo Switch games in all its enhanced glory, or should all games be just automatically updated to better graphics and better frame rates if you already own those games? Let me know in the comment section, and like and subscribe.